Good morning and happy Sabbath to all the people here and all the missionaries here. I'm so grateful that you invited me to be your uh, speaker this morning. To start with, let me read to you my prepared Bible verse. It is Psalms 37, verse 23 to 24. It says here, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand." Uh, my experience here, let me start with the present experience here. With the present experience here in Thailand, all I can say is life is so uncertain. Even though you want to be established, you want to be sure, and you want to prepare yourself for the future, but we cannot tell what the future holds for us. I'm so sad that I was here in Thailand for like almost 8 years, 7 years to be exact. And I went back to the Philippines only for once. That was 4 years ago. And I went back home to visit my father. And few months after that, my father died. And I was not able to be there during his wake. And after 4 years, at present now, last year, I prepared myself, booked a ticket to go back to the Philippines because it was already 4 years that I did not visit my relatives, although I don't have family in the Philippines because they are in another country, but I miss my relatives, especially those people, those relatives of mine who got involved in my life. So, as what I have said, life is so uncertain. I was here in Thailand and I have so many lessons that I learned, and I have so many challenges that I've experienced. I was here for almost 8 years, and I experienced in my first employment here, I experienced being with the agency because the agency got me in the Philippines and invited me to be employed here. And under that agency, there are a lot of hardship I experienced in 3 years. I always experience in each year within that 3 years in the past, each year I don't have salary for 3 months. Every month, every year, there was 3 months no salary. So in the first in the first year, I was so stressed and I'm so depressed because I don't have I don't have friends to help me. I don't know where to look for help, and I don't know where to how to survive. But God was there. And then in the second year, still 3 months no salary. And then for the second in my second year here, I don't know, I did not prepare for the 3 months without salary. I don't know how to pay my apartment. I don't know where to get my food allowance for 3 months. And with that second year, I already have a car and I don't know how to pay my bills and I don't know how to pay my car. So it was so stressful. For the third year, again, still under the agency, 3 months no salary. And with that, I prepared myself. But some situation couldn't be project, even though how much you prepare, there are situations that you cannot prepare. So in the third year, I suffered hair loss, depression, and I was so angry to myself. I regretted why I'm still here, why I did not decide to go back in the Philippines. And with that stress and depression, I had alopecia. I have severe hair loss at the back of my head, and then it was so embarrassing because my student got to notice it, and they are complaining, teacher, what happened to your hair? What happened to your head? So with that experience, 3 years, in each year, there are 3 months without salary. After 3 years, I decided to transfer to another another school. And in my 4 years, I transferred to a university with a lower salary, but regular salary every month, every year. So with that experience, even though I was so stressed, I was so depressed, I learned so many things. I learned every time I am so vulnerable, every time it is too hard to survive, all the thing that I always did was to stay close to God, be faithful with Him, and ask His blessings and guidance. How could I survive? And God did not fail me. I cannot imagine how I survived. I cannot remember how I survived, but I'm so thankful. And until now, I am so grateful with all the trials, with all the hardship, and with all this present situation. It is it is a blessings for us. When we are vulnerable, when the situation is so difficult, we cannot run to anyone except to God. God is always there. God is always willing to answer in so many ways. Though sometimes you prayed so hard, you ask, you ask and you beg to God as if you are wrestling with Him because human tendencies are we're so demanding, and God won't allow us to have things that we ask for, things that we prayed for, but still we learn lessons. In my in my 40 years of existence in this world, God is always my redeemer, and God is always the God that helps and saves me, because I don't know. I cannot imagine myself if I am not a Seventh-day Adventist, if I was not a graduate of Mountain View College, and I cannot imagine if I did not become a missionary. I don't know where to find myself. So with that, I'm so grateful. Life is so uncertain because we really don't know what will happen tomorrow. We have a job today, we have a better accommodation today, we have food on the table, we have friends to help us, but we need to live one time, one step at a moment. We need to be grateful for God because He's there. But life, as what I've told you, tomorrow is uncertain. We don't know what will happen. We don't know if we will survive with this COVID or with this pandemic. To start with this pandemic, we are so happy that Thailand was also infected with COVID, but in my province, we don't have any case of COVID. But with the second wave, we have two victim already, two infections already. And still, I am so grateful because it is not within our area. It it is in another. another place, but within this province. I don't know if we will start online because right now we have a class with face to face with our students, but we are so careful. Even my students, they don't want to see me without a mask. And that was it right now because it's so difficult to survive. It's so difficult to be confident with our health. I would like to ask you that stay close to God, just like in the past when He gave us hardship, troubles, and difficult times. We have only God that is our only God. We need to be faithful. We need to be stay closer to God because the situation now is very difficult. So thank you so much for your time and thank you for this privilege to be with you. God bless you and may you always stay safe and stay closer to God. Thank you so much and happy Sabbath.